when we think of sports, we think of the traditional sports, right? Soccer, football, baseball, tennis, even golf, chess, even as a sport, right? And we know these are sports because they require physical activity. They require you to work towards something, to getting a touchdown, to getting a home run, getting, scoring bases and everything. And within these sports, the level of activity, you can see it. You see two people playing the sport and you see two people physically interacting, whether it's a team of people or an individual, doesn't matter. You see them physically doing something where a new trend and a new thing that has been rising silently up until now has been esports, which is online gaming, online teams, and online organizations organizing tournaments that the players come out, they meet each other, they're sitting across from each other in like two rows of up to usually five players each on each team, and they play a video game against each other. And thousands and thousands and thousands of people are watching this. And many people say, well, why are they watching it? It's just people playing video games. But much like physical sports like football, baseball, soccer, all of those, you have dedicated fan bases that follow these players and follow these organizations and follow these teams for years, and they're invested in them just like real sports fans are. And what we're seeing now is that the viewership has been growing exponentially. Every year they've had about a 15% increase in viewership. In 2015, they had over a billion people watching the League of Legends World Finals, which is more than even the Super Bowl in the United States. So what we're seeing is esports is a very, very powerful and growing source of media and source of revenue too, as now we're seeing that many large sports organizations, mainly the NBA, especially in the US, has begun investing in these teams and making contracts for players, making contracts for coaches. They're bringing in psychologists to help the players learn how to deal with stress, or when they have a bad run where they have many losses in a row, or how to deal with that and how to cope with that. So what we're seeing is that money is being thrown into this new industry, which has been kind of small up until the last 5 or 6 years, and now it's really growing very rapidly. And one benefit of esports is that you don't need to physically go to the game to watch it for the most part. You can stream it afterwards. You can watch the highlights afterwards, like many sports. One big difference, though, too, is that sports still, dominate television. They're always going to be on TV. People always want to see their favorite sports teams if they can't go to the physical games. But esports began via streaming. Sites like Justin TV, which turned into Twitch, started showing these esports organizations and these tournaments, and now Twitch is a billion-dollar company, and everyone who wants to stream and make it, and every organization and every championship league that comes on, everyone's on Twitch, and it's started this market. Now we have other streaming services opening up and more revenue coming in, and Microsoft released their own. Everybody is trying to start getting in on the gaming scene because of the viewership spike and the amount of money that can be made through sponsorships and affiliate links and codes. And in the market now, we're seeing lots and lots of money be poured into this, much like other sports markets where investors and sponsors want to pay players and organizations and teams to say, hey, use our gear, use our mice, use our keyboard, use our computers, use our monitors, everything. And they're saying, use these, we'll pay you to use them, and you'll get a percent of the share of sales made off of your link. The market for esports right now is infinite. uh, BMW, many Honda, Toyota, they're all invested in esports now too as well. So what we're seeing is a growing trend that people are viewing esports as a more authentic thing, whereas 10 years ago you would have laughed when someone said, oh yeah, I play on an esports team, I play esports for a living. Now it has become a very real thing that people respect as well too. You can look at someone and they'll say, I play an esport, and you think that's, wow, that's really cool, that's really difficult. And it's being looked at more as a sport now than it ever was, and it's going to continue to. It's continued to grow with viewership, and as a global phenomenon, because you can watch a game that's going on in Korea from your home, and I live in New Jersey. You can watch it from New Jersey. You don't have to physically go to the game to go see it. You can watch the full game whenever you want. You can pull it up whenever you want. People are rooting for their teams just like normal sports. People are buying their clothing. People are buying their jerseys. People are buying things that represent their team, much like many other sports. Esports is a growing sport. It's going to continue to grow, and it's going to take over traditional sports eventually. Slowly, but eventually. We already have tournaments for games that are based off sports like Madden and 2K and other games. It's a growing trend, and it's going to continue to grow.